So on this auspicious Gopastami day, we are serving their Lordship, Sri Gonitai and Sevakunj, their home, by singing to them and speaking about them. Simple process. That's what we want to do in our ashrams also. Teach people how to approach Krishna, God, in a natural way, through bhakti, natural bhakti, spontaneous bhakti. And what's the simple way to do it? Feed him, cook for him, feed him, sing to him, and talk about him, glorify him. And the best way to please Krishna is to sing about his devotees, to praise his devotees. And of all, we can actually call Radharani a devotee, but still, the best way to please Krishna is to glorify Srimati Radharani. Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tariyanam samarchanam. Shivji, Mahadev told Parvati that greater than worshipping Vishnu is worshipping his devotees. And the gopis at Ras Leela, when they were searching for Krishna, they saw Radharani's footprints and they met Radharani and they said, Anaya Radhitanunam Bhagavan Haririshvara Yamno Vihaya Govinda Pritoyat Anayadraha. Of all Krishna's beloveds, Radharani is topmost. And Padma Puran says, Vita Radha Priya Vishnus Tasya Kundam Priyamtata Sarva Gopeshu Saivaka Vishnu Radyanta Vallabha. The dearmost of Sri Krishna is Srimati Radhika. Similarly, Sri Radha Kund is supreme. Nice echo here. Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. So some thoughts about Gopastami. Yashoda wanted Krishna to always be with her. This is the nature of Vatsalya Ras. Any Ras always wants the Krishna to always be with them. So Krishna expands in many forms to fulfill the desires of his devotees. But we see also that Yashoda, or the parent, always sees the child as very small and fragile. So even when Krishna was gone for 100 years from Braj, and Yashoda met him later in Kurukshetra, she still saw him as a little baby. And so Krishna reciprocated and ran to her and hid under her anchal, her shawl, and took her breast milk. Even though he was like a 100-year-old man. It's very astonishing. So, but he was still saying, Mama, Mama, Maya, Maya, and she was saying, Kanaya, Kanaya. Maya, Kanaya. They're intricately connected. So Madhya Yashoda and Nanda Baba, they always see Krishna like Gopal, baby. They always see him like Bacha, means child. But if Krishna is always with them, then how is he going to experience the other rasas? He is Rasa Vaisa, he has to experience all the rasas, and also he has to fulfill all the devotees' desires. Yeyatamam prapadyante tam stadaiva bhujamyaha mama vartmanu vartante manusya varta sarvasa. Krishna has to reciprocate with everybody. So if he is always with Yashoda, if he's only bound by Yashoda this month, Dambandan Lila. If he's only bound by Yashoda, then how will he be Radha Damodar, bound by Radharani? It's not possible. So Gopastami is the day that Krishna, you can say, breaks free and becomes given full freedom. How is that? Because when he is out in the forest, no parents are there. When Krishna was first going out to the forest, Nanda and Yashoda wanted to go because they're very afraid. Their boy, they think he'll be harmed. He's just a little baby. The demons may come, and they did come. So we see this dilemma comes for parents also. You always want my baby. But one day, the baby grows up. And if you don't give the baby some kind of, a little bit of, leash, then they never mature and become strong. So it has to be a balance of kind of, as you help them become strong and mature, and then you have to also help shelter and protect. So with Krishna and Gopastami, Krishna so much wanted to go out and graze the cows and the calves. But Madhya Yashoda was again and again resisting. Krishna was asking, let me go out with the cows. He said, this is my dharma. I am in the line of the Gwalas, the cow herders. But Madhya Yashoda would say, no, you're too small. Nanda Baba would say, no, you're too small. And again they would resist. It would go on for a long time, and Krishna would be very, disturbed. So by hook or by crook, it said Krishna again and again, he arranged Purnamasi Yogamaya to help him. He said, Purnamasi, you are my helper. You're supposed to be my Yogamaya Shakti, arranging all my pastimes. If I'm always with Nanda Yashoda, how will I be with the gopis? the gopis, sometimes they would cook preparations and send to Jashoda, and she would feed Krishna like butter or makan, things like that. But they're not able to play in Nanda Bhavan like they can play in the forests at Terrakodamba, at Udavagari, at Radhakund, Shamkund. How can they play like that in Nanda Bhavan? And if Krishna doesn't go and graze the cows, then he can't say, "Oh, Mother Yashoda, I want to go on a date." "Oh, Mother Yashoda, I want to go out to the forest with my gopi friends." He has to do it secret. It's parakya. He can't say, "Oh, give me after school, let me go out all night and dance." But if he gets permission to be out with the calves from like 8:30 to 4:30, 3:30, 4:30, then he has 6-7 hours to do as he pleases. So this is why Krishna created the Gopastami pastime. Particularly how to interact with the gopis, Srimati Radhika, because they had so much man, so much purva rag, so much desire to be with Krishna, and he was restricted because of Vatsalya ras. Not that he's restricted, but that you have to be careful that he's not confined and limited to that. Let him also experience everything. The morning time with Yashoda, evening time with Yashoda, sometime with the Sakas, sometimes with the Sakis. Krishna's like that. That's why Krishna goes everywhere. Krishna, some people say he is chanchal, he is lambat, he is not faithful. But that's because he is with everybody. You cannot copyright Krishna. You cannot make Krishna your private property. Krishna is for everyone. That's why Krishna transcends like dharma, Krishna says, Sarva dharman prityaja. Oh, people say Krishna is only mine. Krishna is only my religion. Krishna is only mine. Krishna is for everyone. Some of Krishna's greatest bhaktas are Muslims. How can you say only Krishna is for the Hindus? In South India, one of the deities, there was a Muslim person who wanted to worship Krishna and see Krishna, but he wasn't allowed because of his background, because of his religious orientation, because of his birth. And so the priest wouldn't let him. So it said that Krishna, they wouldn't let him go inside, so the Krishna himself made like an opening in the wall so that he could see. And that became a famous door that they could go into. So many pastimes like that. So Krishna is for everybody. We cannot try to limit Krishna. That's Gopastami. Gopastami means this is open source. Krishna is open source. Sanatana Dharma is eternal, open source property for everyone. That is Sri Krishna. And so that's Gopastami. Krishna is going out and now he's free. He's free from the bondage of his mother's love. And he is also reciprocating and exchanging love with his mother. But now he's also able to go out. And said that when Krishna goes out of the forest, he appears like a Kishore. Like when we hear Venu Geet, when Krishna is going to the forest. He appears like a Kishore, like an adolescent. But when he comes back to Nanda Bhavan, it's like he gets smaller and smaller as he comes. And by the time he gets back home, he's a little baby again. And then Mother Yashoda again puts him under anchal and gives him a breast milk. So Gopastami, when Krishna goes out, everyone is so excited. First they go and they worship the calves and cows at Ashleshwar Mahadev, showing that if we want to... You can also, I want to kind of segue into the idea of the sadhana, of a sadhaka, a practitioner. And how when we first come to Guru, we are like babies, we are infants. And Guru shelters and protects us. But ultimately, Guru wants us to mature and be like an adult, spiritual adult. And then be able to sometimes be externally distant, knowing that ultimately we have that spiritual connection, and he has seen that we've developed in bhakti, so he has faith in us that we won't go rogue, But sometimes Guru is like that. So Swami Prabhupada, when he was first initiating a group of people, he said, I want you all to be like me. We should all preach and teach others and help others. That's why we're also trying, by the order of Vaishnavas. I was reading a quote by Prabhupada in his book the other day. Preaching is the essence. And Prabhupada says, anyone who's chanting 16 rounds a day can be spiritual master of the whole world. Imagine. Haladar. Go out, be Guru, conquer the world. Start chanting 16 rounds. Prabhupada had such broad vision. Imagine. He said, let them preach in this world, and then another universe, another Brahmanda, another earth, another personality can preach. We need to expand. Also, Gopastami is a day of, expansion. When Krishna took out the calves, what is the duty of a gwala, cowherder? They're supposed to expand the herd. This is their duty. This is their vangsa, their line. So when a guru takes a disciple, traditionally in Vedic culture, the disciple herds the cows and cares for the cows. In all Vedic, Upanishadic ashrams, you find in the Gurukuls that when you come to Guru, the Guru sends the disciple to take care of the cows. And he will give them tattva gyan, realization, knowledge, pure knowledge, when he sees they're able to expand and take care of the cows very nicely. There's a story of a boy who took shelter of Guru, and for many years he was taking care of the cows, and he made it from like 10 to 1,000 cows. And they were all very healthy and very happy, and so the Guru was so pleased with him, he gave them all transcendental realization. So this is also, we can see kind of how Guru and disciple is also connected to Krishna Lila in that way. Krishna wants to teach us how to be a caretaker. We are on this earth to be caretakers. We should try to help others, take care of others, instead of always need help and need to be taken care of. That's like infancy. A baby always needs to be helped and taken care of, fed, bathed, dressed. So when we come to Guru, we need to be taken care of, and Guru spends so much time on us. Sometimes people complain, oh, now Gurudev doesn't talk to me so much, now Gurudev doesn't spend so much time with me. It's because he has many young babies, now you should be mature, older. If you have 7, 8 babies, kids, then you spend the most time with the youngest kid, they need the most attention. So Gurudev wants us to mature and help others. Prabhupada also wrote that you should not think that, oh, now I have left the Dham, now I'm very far away, I'm preaching, what can I do, I'm so unfortunate. He said, wherever you are serving Guru and Vaishnavas, preaching this Manabhishta, the heart's desire of Mahaprabhu, this Gauravani, then that place is not different from Vrindavan, from Puri, from Navadvip. Prabhupada wrote like that. But the question is, how connected are you to Gurudev's desire, Gurudev's dhara, Gurudev's understanding? How much are you, if you're going independently, if you're going rogue in essence, only using your own speculation, then you're disconnected from his mercy. But on this Gopastami day, we can think like that how can we serve our Gurudev trying to become mature and helping others and caring for others instead of only being needed to be taken care of. That's not complete service to Guru. Complete service to Guru is taking responsibility, taking up the burden of responsibility to please Sri Guru, and then we can receive the mercy, full mercy of Guru and empowerment from Guru. But first we have to learn to follow rules and regulations before we can be given this so-called freedom. This is what I also want to talk about in Gopastami. Just while we're doing Kirtan, I was thinking about a few things. The disciple, when he comes to Guru, first he has to follow everything very strictly, rules and regulations. Getting up this time, showering, artis, bhajans, sadhana, the whole day is regulated. From 4 in Vrindavan Radhakunj, from 4 a.m. to 10:30, 11 p.m. is regulated. 10 artis. Prasadam, go on prasadam on time, serve our prasadam, help cook in the kitchen, all your different sevas, serving Thakurji art, completely regulated parikramas. This is Vidhi Marga, but in the mood of Rag Marg. This is the difference of the Vaishnavas and Bhaktisiddhanta's line. We follow all the rules and regulations of Vidhi, but with the aspiration and the mood of Rag. Our aspiration, our prayer is, our developing our greed to be in the service of Radha Krishna and Braj under the guidance of their associates. If we have that greed, that mood, and that desire, that means we're in the path of Rag. Vaidhi is only rules and regulations. I don't want to go to hell. I want to go to enjoy, in the spiritual world. So I'm following rules and regulations. Not so much spontaneous love, not so much selfless greed to serve Radha Krishna. But we follow rules and regulations with that desire for that service. That's what we're supposed to do. We pray, we develop that greed, that lobh, that lodyam, from being in the association of those who have that lodyam. Tatra mulyam ekam janmam koti sukritana labdite. Taking shelter of those who have that greed and following rules and regulations under the guidance, we can develop that greed and then we can be successful in this path of Rag. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings a song. He says that Suno he rasika jan Krishna guna aganan ananta kahite nahi pare. Listen to the glories of Sri Krishna. And in the last stanza of that song, he says, Vidhi marga rata jane svarinata ratnadane raga marg karana pravesh raga barshavati hoy parakiya bhavishray lave jeev Krishna premavesh. He says that if you follow Vidhi marga properly, rata jane means incessantly, rata jane. In Hindi means to be ratna, to be completely focused on something. Like Raghunath Das Goswami. He said that Vairagyara Patanera Reka. His practice of renunciation was like lines in a stone, but it was based on his intense love and greed, anurag. Otherwise, your Vaidhi Marga will also be without potency, you'll fall away. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, every day for 9 years, 3 lakhs Harinam. Because of his anurag, he was able to follow the Vaidhi. So if you follow that kind of intense practice, it's called like Purashcharan, intense practice, then you are granted complete freedom. Svadhinata Ratna Dani, then you are granted the jewel of complete freedom. However you like, you can express your love. A devotee was asking Prabhuji that, sometimes I feel like if we have to do everything under Anugata, everything under guidance, then where's our free expression? We just feel like a robot. Oh, what to do now? Oh, what to do then? What to do 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12, 1, 2, the whole day, every day for the rest of my life. What to do? Then where's the freedom? Where's my own free expression? He said, no, it's not proper. Krishna wants to taste your inspiration. Krishna wants to taste your creativity. Krishna wants to taste your moods, a way of expressing love for him. So Krishna gives you complete freedom. But once you show like you're able to go to school and pass the syllabus, then okay, choose your career, choose your activities. But first you have to show the discipline. You have to create the ability to follow discipline. And then when the Guru Vaishnavas see that, okay, now they're disciplined, now do as you like. They give you freedom. They don't try to control. They'll give some direction, but ultimately they give independence. But that independence is only when they see that you are ready to 10% off yourself in Krishna's loving service. Anyabilashta shunyam jnana karmadhyanapritam anukulyena Krishna anushilanam bhakti rutama. When Guru Vaishnavas see that now they are anukulyena Krishna anushilanam, 10% like a stream of honey, like a stream of oil, this dhara, continuously flowing in, how can I serve Krishna in ever fresh ways? Nityano ayaman. How can I in an ever fresh way, offer my heart, offer my energies, manas dehageha, joki chumor, arpyatua parinanda kishore. My mind, my body, my energies, my possessions, everything at the service of Sri Krishna. Then at that point, when they see that anyabilasta, then they say, as you like, you can do. And they will still guide you. You take shelter, they still guide you, but they will also give you the intelligence how to act. So that's also kind of Gopastami. Now that you can be free. And that freedom is something to be taken with great responsibility, with great gravity, but it's a great jewel. It's said that the independence of the jiva, that is Krishna's greatest jewel, greatest treasure he gives us. When we learn how to offer that to Krishna, then that jewel goes from like a rough diamond in the rough, to a fully polished gem. Because they know how to use it like a child. If you say, oh, here's a flamethrower, or here's a knife, they'll cut themselves. They're not ready for that independence. Once they know how to use it and you know how to do everything, they know the rules and regulations for everything, then give them complete independence. So Krishna and Guru are like that. When they see the jiva is ready to serve in that way, then they grant them freedom of movement. That's Gopastami. Now that you can go out and play. And what did Krishna do when he got that chance? When Krishna went out to play, he was with all the boys, This is when you get some kind of, you see if you have calves tied up for a long time, or horses, and you let them go free, then what do? They jump around, and they kind of go wild. You see that with parenting also. Oh, you first give some independence, you give a car. But Anuradha have her own car. Who knows what's going to happen? So you have to maintain, and when you see, okay, ready, then you can give some more independence. And that's also necessary, because without that, how will they mature? If you try to restrict too much, then they'll go completely the opposite way. So there has to be balanced. But Krishna, when he was first given freedom by Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba, then with all the boys, he was starting to play all these games and running around, frolicking. Said that he would climb up the hills and roll down, jump in the lakes, climb up the trees. Mother Yashoda and Nanda were very afraid. Oh, what if so many demons come? Already so many demons have come. So sometimes in parenting also, we're afraid, if I let our children kind of be more free, then many dangers can come. There's many dangers in the world. It's undeniable. Many demons out there. And what's going to happen? But that's why you have to teach them to be strong, Teach them to be mature and strong, and also intelligent, so that not to put themselves in undue risk. You see the Sadhakas, sometimes when they weren't, in a group, they weren't under guidance of Krishna, didn't listen to Krishna. Even when we're independent from our parents, we should be in a group of friends who we trust, Otherwise, if we go alone, the Sadhakas, they went into the mouth of Agasura. There's so much danger. They went Kaliya's lake and drank the water. So much danger came. They went to and got caught in the wildfire because they went separate from Krishna. Even Krishna, whenever Baladev was not there, Krishna got in trouble. Whenever Baladev was not there, then Kaliya happened, then Agasura happened, then Brahma Vimohan Leela happened. Whenever Baladev was not there, problems came. So even when we're independent, we should be in Anugatya. That's the secret. That even in so-called independence, we have to be under Anugatya. The first song that Prem was singing, Vaishnavara, what was the song? Vaishnava Thakura. Thakura Vaishnava Pada. It said in the second part of that first stanza, Nartam sings, Ashraya loya bhaje tare Krishna nahitaje arshab more akaran. Those who are under shelter, practicing devotion, they are fully accepted by Sri Krishna. All others die and live without any purpose, without any progress. They just live and die like animals. Nartan sings, Thakura Vaishnava Pada. That those who are just wandering around aimlessly, independently, they're just like, animals. Their life is coming and going. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Again and again taking birth, again and again dying. In this cycle of ahar bhaya mitunancha. Birth, death, old age, disease, fearing, mating, defending, all these kinds of activities. This is our life cycle. But even when Guru and Vaishnavas give us independence, this is a trick. It's like, oh, what are you going to do with it now? They give you freedom. For us, it was like, wherever you choose, go. Pick anything you want. It was like, whatever you think is proper, favorable. Okay, now we have to think about it. That's something you have to be very, very cautious then. Oh, what should I do now? And immediately you should say, oh, I should be an Anugatya. What is proper? What is best? And then discuss it with your God brothers and God sisters. And work together as a team. And then it can be successful. Otherwise, oh, now I'm an independent bull. Now I'll go in a China shop and break everything because I don't know what I'm doing. So also, even then, when we're given independence, then we should always be working together with our spiritual family and protected by our spiritual family. That's the idea of being in a, like a herd or even in Christianity, then, the flock. So Krishna, when he does Gopastami, all the cows, they're all like, Krishna's bhaktas, and he's taking care of them all. Even the cows and calves are given independence, but Krishna takes care of them. And in the evening, Krishna checks to make sure everyone's okay. Krishna calls all the groups of cows by the cow leaders' names. It's another secret of Anugatya, that even the cows follow Anugatya. So even when they have independence, the cows follow complete Anugatya. Each group of cows has a leader, and Krishna calls the name of each leader of cows, and she comes back with all her group. Even they have groups. Even the gopis in the Japamala, there is 9 groups. Radhika's group is first, with her 8 Sakhis and 4 Manjaris. Lalita, Vishaka, Chitra, Champakalata, Ranga Devi, Sudevi, Induleka, Tungavidya. Rupa, Rati, then Guru Manjari, Param Guru Manjari. 4 Manjaris, 8 Sakhis. In Radharani's group. And then Lalita has 8 Sakhis and 4 Manjaris. Vishaka has 8 Sakhis, 4 Manjaris. Tungavidya, 8 Sakhis, 4 Manjaris. Sudevi, 8 Sakhis. That's 108. They all have this kind of organization, even in the spiritual world. So even we see in devotee societies, Buddha says you should have an organization because he wants devotees to be organized, because in organized effort you can accomplish wondrous things. Without organization you can't accomplish anything. One person alone, what can they do? You have to be organized. Then you can move mountains. It said that faith can move mountains. So what is the power of faith means? It's like wildfire. You can spark someone with that faith, and they get the faith, they get the faith, they get the faith, then all together they can move mountains. That's how faith moves mountains, collectively. By the power of devotion and faith, then you can move mountains. So devotees, even when Guru gives us so-called independence, he's trying to see if we'll utilize that properly. Swadhinata Ratnadani, he gives the jewel of independence, and then he gives the entrance into Rag. Raga Marg Korana Pravesh. I give you the entrance into Rag Marg, the path of Rag. Raga Barshavati Hoy, if you properly use that, then Parakiya Bhavashray, then you can realize Parakiya Bhav, Lave Jeev Krishna Premavesh, then you can get Krishna Prem. So that's like a test. At every stage in our life, we're tested by Guru. We go through different stages, different levels, and Guru is always testing us. Even Guru's disappearance is a test, and now he's also showing you have more independence. I'm not externally directly telling you what to do, what not to do. But if you are properly following Gurudev, then we look, where can I have ashray, shelter? How can I be in association of Gurudev's near and dear? How can I continue to serve Gurudev? How can I, if we're meditating on Gurudev, then he'll come in our dreams and he'll come in our meditation. Sometimes the Vaishnava would ask Gurudev a question after Arti, Prabhuji's particularly. And he would say, should I ask you now or should I ask you during Anik? Gurudev would say, you can ask me during Anik. No need to ask now. So their connection is so deep that they can say, oh, Haladar, should I ask you, I have a question now, or should I ask you now, or let me do my Anik in 10 minutes and I'll ask you then. Guru and Vaishnava, this relation is so deep that they can be connected like that. That's why we say Nityaya Charana Satya Tahara Sevaka Nitya. That Nityananda, Guru and Vaishnavas, they're eternal. They're always eternal, their sevaks are eternal. So even though Guru appears to have disappeared, he's still present. Even like Krishna disappeared in the Ras, he's still present. He was hiding, waiting to hear the prayers of the gopis. So that's the independent stage. We're given independence, but then what will we do with it? And if we serve with that, under Anugatya, working together with everybody, then we can achieve that Parakya Bhav. Parakya Bhav is indirect. It looks like everything is free, but actually everything is bound. Because bondage of love is a higher principle than absolute freedom. Everyone wants to be free. But if you're in a loving relationship, you're somewhat bound. So Krishna Bhakti is about devotion, bondage of love. Radha Damodar means the bondage of love. That's why we are celebrating this month, the bondage of their love. That beautiful bondage of their love. And when we are entering into that, then within that we also have freedom. Parakya means freedom. Parakya, how does it mean freedom? Because the gopis are not married to Krishna. They can tell Krishna, get out of the kunj. Satyabhama, Rukmini, Krishna said, oh, if you're not listening to me, then you can go back to your father's house. They're not free, they're bound. But the gopis, they never have to listen to Krishna because they're not married to him, they're not dependent on him. He doesn't give them anything. Gurudev would say, Krishna never gives saris to the gopis, he never gives jewelry to the gopis. He takes from the gopis and they serve him. Therefore the gopis are independent. As soon as you start taking service from people, then you're dependent on them. You need money from them, you're dependent on them. You need shelter from them, you're dependent on them. You have to listen, and follow. But you don't need anything, like Chirukram Goswami Maharaj would say. I can say anything I like to anybody because I don't need anything from anyone. And he would speak very strongly to people. So this is actually something interesting. In Parakya Bhav, there's a lot of freedom. But there's so much anugatya. There's so much guidance. Because all the mandris are all following their sakhis, all following Radharani. They never act independently. But at the same time, they're not dependent on any outside person. Their group is internally connected, internally organized. Only Svajatiya party. So this is like something about Gopastami, I'm thinking. But I think in our spiritual lives, at every step we have to think how we want that internal connection to Gurudev. And when we have that internal connection, Paramatma can inspire us, Gurudev can inspire us, and then we can serve with our moods, our own inspiration. And in that way, Gurudev takes pleasure tasting that. Krishna takes pleasure tasting that. Oh, how they are serving. What are they cooking today? Like if you always have to say, oh Gurudev, what should I cook? Then there's no excitement. You know everything already. Oh, what you're going to cook. Instead, you should think, I'll make something different for Gurudev today. I don't want to ask him. Because what's the excitement? So it's like that. We want to serve Gurudev in newer and newer ways, serve Radha Krishna in newer and newer ways, and also try to bring the devotees together, let them serve together, let them be inspired together in understanding this beauty of this path of Sri Krishna Bhakti. So I'll stop here. Just some random thoughts while I was doing kirtan. Haribol. I guess we can stop here. We already did all our kirtans, right? Mm-hmm. Do a short moment. Ishtagoshti, questions, comments? Oh, last thing I was thinking, that Swami Prabhupada, when he started preaching, he started one center, right? And then these new people came and he was like, okay, you go to San Francisco, you go to Boston, you go to Buffalo, you go to Honolulu, you go to England. And they were very new, but he had that faith in them. Even though dangers would be there, he had faith in them that you can do it, and he empowered them to do it. So we have to think, bigger and broader. It's not like, some people say, oh, we need like 20 people for each center before we can do anything else. Why do you think of doing anything else? I'm not. Guru and Vaishnavas, we present everything to Guru Vaishnavas. If they give instruction and we follow through. But everyone should take full responsibility. In England, only two families went. Also, it's not like it's something for brahmacharis and not for grahastas. In Prabhupada's time, everyone was part of the mission. Everyone had that idea. We are part of that. It's our responsibility also. There was only 2 couples that went to England, and then they got that beautiful manor and preached so nicely there. Started the Radha Krishna Temple Band. They got like top hits charts on the charts. So it's the same way. It's like there's so much that can be done, but we have to be a little. When Gopastami means you have to be a little bold. Like even Krishna's a little baby, but he's going out to the forest and herding 9 lakh cows, even though he's just a little boy. Like, what's the problem? So also like that, Guru Vaishnavas want Shri Gurudev's mission to expand. I was mentioning to you, right, yesterday, that Gurudev said in Kartik, when 1,000 people were there, he said, next year, bring 10 new people. Each one of you bring 10 new people. There was 1,000 people. So if 1,000 people bring 10 new people, next year there's 10,000 people. If those 10,000 people each bring 10 new people, 100,000. Okay, 2 years gone. Next year, 1 million. 100,000 times 10. Next year, 10 million. Next year, 100 million. Next year, 1 billion. Next year, 10 billion. In 7 years, 10 billion people would be Krishna conscious. More people than are on the earth. The population would have to expand to fulfill Gurudev's instruction. Within 7 years, we'd have 10 billion devotees. So the question is, how many people are able to follow that order of bringing 10 new people to Gurudev? It's very hard, but that's also what we are endeavoring to do. We have to think how to expand Srila Gurudev's go. Go means senses, go means the body, go means Gokula, go means the cows, the cowherd boys, the gopis. Essentially it means the family of Krishna, Gokula, Goloka. The family of Sri Krishna has to be expanded. That's the real service of a disciple. Guru came to this world to expand Krishna's family, to bring people into the service of Radha Krishna. Mahaprabhu said that, as gopis, I cannot repay you. Swasadu krityam vigudasya napareham. I'm not able to repay you. Krishna told the gopis in this sloka of the Bhagavatam. So he thought, how will I do it? I will come again as Mahaprabhu and I will collect so many jivas and make them your servants. Make them the manjaris, make them the gopis, and they will serve Radharani and all the gopis. In this way I will try to repay you. So if we are doing that service, we're serving Mahaprabhu's manobishta of bringing new people to Radharani's lotus feet. That's what we're doing. Because Krishna thought, I'm not able to repay the gopis their spotless love. So let me come as Mahaprabhu and try to Raga Marga Bhakti Loke Kodite Pracharan. Rashika Shekara Krishna Parama Karun Edvi Hetu Kore Lila Udgam. He came to do that, to spread Raga Marga Bhakti. Prithiviti Ache Chatan Agaradi Gram Sarvatra Prachar Hoibe Muranam. So sometimes people ask, where will you start a center? I said, any town and village is good. Doesn't matter. Because we need every town and village. So any town and village you can start. Right? Mahaprabhu said every town and village. So you can start anywhere. Doesn't matter. Because it needs to be everywhere. So the point is that if we're able to help in that endeavor, then that's serving Mahaprabhu and our Gurudev and Radha Krishna. And obviously we can't do it in this kind of like crazy, we have to be practical as well. Practical. But at the same time, understand Gurudev's instruction. He said, I want you to preach like they preached in the time of Swami Prabhupada. How did they preach in the time of Swami Prabhupada? Okay, you go to Buffalo and rent an apartment and try to preach. Okay, you go to Boston, rent an apartment, try to preach. You go to Honolulu, you go to UK. What did they do? They didn't have money. They didn't have a guaranteed landing spot. It was very difficult. It was very difficult. Sometimes, you read the stories from back in the day, how much they struggled, how much they endeavored. But Krishna protected Yogakshema Bahamyam. We've already seen that. When it seems like no one's on your side, nothing's going to happen, Krishna makes it happen. So Gurudev said, I want you to preach like in the time of Prabhupada. What's that mean? Even though we think we don't know so much, whatever we do know, Bolo Krishna Bhaja Krishna Guru Krishna Shiksha. Whatever you do know, share that. It's very beautiful. It's the best there is. So I was thinking that also. So we'll leave tomorrow morning. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Shri Gopastami ki, Shri Gopastami Mahotsava ki, Gopastami